Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Discourse on Global Television. I am Priscilla Obasti, and today we're talking about what I call it, a sensitive issue, a timely issue in Nigeria, and that is ethnicity. We're talking about ethnicity, justice, and the growing demand for good governance in Nigeria. Across the country, citizens, especially young people, are raising voices, demanding fairness, inclusion, accountability, from online movements to street protests. There is a common hunger, there's a renewed hunger for a Nigeria that works for everyone. Everyone is, clamoring for a country that works, regardless of their tongue, regardless of tribe, regardless of ethnicity. But the question remains, are we truly a people united in the quest of justice? Are we united in this quest for justice and for good governance? Or are ethnic lines still shaping the way we see and respond to national issues? Now, to help us unpack this, I'm joined by a youth leader and a grassroots political advocate. You get to meet him just after this break. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back. Before we went on that break, I told you that we were joined by a guest. He is a youth leader. He's the youth leader AMAC under the APC platform, and he is Mr. Robert Arch Ubede. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Nigeria, and thank you, Priscilla, for having me in the studio today.
Yeah,
I'm always glad to be here and to speak on issues like this. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you, here with us. Now, let us start with this question. How would you interpret the current wave of protest? We saw one, happen yesterday. The week began with protest. And the civic agitation across the country. What would you say about it?
Thank you. Good afternoon, my fellow youths and Nigerians at large. Just deriving my opinion from the topic of today, justice and quest for good governance. Just like I've always said, once the people are aggrieved and people sense any form of injustice or in our political divide, they will always agitate. And this is one of those agitation too, is what led to the incident that happened yesterday. But what surprised me with all this situation is how the law enforcement went around their business, not protecting the interests of the protesters. Instead, they are on the side of the government. That is unacceptable. That is condemnable by all. The event of yesterday actually is an eye-opener to what may subsequently emerge, given the situation that we have today, because they said justice given one-sided or being
justice for one,
given one-sided or being a justice that is not for all, we give them for agitation. And also, and the sovereignty of every nation is in the hands of the people. The people arise and demand for it, they will get it. What happened is the tip of the iceberg, and I will not urge the situation, the roles that the law enforcement, especially the police, played in the event of yesterday to repeat itself, because the real issues were actually ignored. And it's all about the law enforcement going around, harassing people, torturing protesters, and we, the youth, condemn it in totality. The right we show acts for protest is our civic capability, and no order from the law enforcement is held to stop that right. I want to draw I want to draw example from what happened in the US. In the city of New York and America, and in the city of New York and other states in America, they rose against President Trump's in a no king protest. And we didn't see any police going around harassing the protesters. Over 7 million Americans were on the streets. I mean, 7 million. What happened yesterday is not up to 20,000 person on the streets, and the police came instead of protecting the lives and the rights for all the youths and protesters to exercise their franchise. They were all around the place harassing and torturing a protester. It's not acceptable because it's not seen as if it's not seen like going into the as if justice is being given to some part of the people and it's not being given to some aspect of the people, which is the reason why more Nigerians are not showing sympathy towards the long overdue arrest of or detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because it's not becoming something that is not acceptable by the people. So if you can grant people pardon or you grant people pardon and some of our leaders are going around negotiating for the bandits to be absorbed into the society. Why won't you have a political solution too for this Kalu's case and find a way about it instead of using the instrument of the government that's supposed to protect the interests of the people against the same people? I condemn it in totality, and I urge the police to do better in subsequent protests, because they've shown the people and the Nigerians that they are on the side of the government, which is supposed to be so. Because we same people, we have gone out some days to agitate for their own interest too, and they saw the sympathy they got from the Nigerian population and the people. So they should next time, with all due respect to the IG of police, he should be able to handle his men according to order. Or if there's an instruction given, they should find a way to manage it instead of harassing the people. If there's an order that says that there's certain places that the process cannot go, even though the order is not even legitimate, because it's the right of people to protest, and they went around protesting because they said that the concern me was I was driving to the office yesterday. They raised a block, and when I drove close to Apo, I saw the police were torturing protesters and handling them. It came to a situation where I had to stand and speak and say, no, this what you're doing is wrong. And they said it's beyond their control. They need to curtail it. In the same yesterday, we saw some protesters too going around peacefully demonstrating. If the poor are going around demonstrating, why the anti-one is becoming more chaotic? There's no hoodlums anywhere coming to talk about our street or our protests. It's the same police that is instigating all these crises, and we the youth condemn it in totality, and it's not acceptable by us, because injustice to one is injustice to all. It could happen to somebody tomorrow. It could happen to me. It could happen to Koro today. It could happen to me tomorrow. So please, I want to urge our leaders that, in all honesty, the government or the ambulance of the presidency going in that direction should find a way about how protests are managed. They should get the security apparatus strength where to manage or foresee those kind of crowd and manage properly. That is our stand. The issue is condemnable and is not acceptable by all and sundry. Thank you.
Okay, so there's an argument that you made mention of the fact that there were pro-protesters who came out to also protest against, the protesters. And there is an argument that there was a court, instruction, stopping whatever protest was going to go on yesterday, and they overlooked all of the boundaries that were set and, went ahead to do the protest. Don't you think, given that there was actually another preventing them from going out to protest. They have every right, or the law enforcement agency have rights to actually stop whatever it is that was, they were going to display yesterday.
Yes, like I said, it was an expected order from the Federal High Court. That order, any expected order ought to be activated by service. As at when the order was given, the leaders of the protesters have come out to say that they not deserve. So by mere conventional going around telling the public that there's an order against protest, which is even against the right of a citizen, it's not even acceptable in the first place. Then if that expected order was not served to the leaders of the protest, that means the order is not and void. What activates an expected order is when it's served and the copy submitted back to the court. That didn't happen. So it looks like the expected order was legitimate because I didn't under that same order to torture and arrest protesters, which is why we come out to condemn every activity of the Nigerian police forces today.
So, according to news, a lot of protesters, some protesters were arrested, and we've seen it happen over and over again. When you used to go out to protest, you see some people hijacked by law enforcement agencies or police officers, and some of them do not even have the chance to come out to the public to inform them of whatever it is that is happening. Some of them spend months in cell, over and over. Months go and go like that, and some people do not even know they're there. So what is the way forward for those that have been arrested, and what is the right the right approach to actually arresting protesters?
The Nigerian police force, as at this morning, has come as the spokesperson of the police has come to speak on the arrest made yesterday. And there were 13 of them that were arrested yesterday, and the civil societies and some political and social activists have gone around to confirm the said number, and they are doing everything possible to get them released before the end of today. What it is that the people arrested were arrested wrongly, and even if persecuted, they will be granted bail by any court. So they exercised their rights and they were picked. I see the arrest as more of a jamboree, more of if we arrest some, more people will not get involved. If we keep them off the streets, some people will be scared not to come out. But what is happening right now, what they did is even gravitating more anger among the youth against the police. So I urge the Nigerian police to expedite their action to release the protester, even while the civil society groups and voices like us too are out there to condemn in totality the action they took yesterday is condemnable, and everything legally possible is being put in place to release them. Is the negligence sometimes is how the police feels, and negligence of the police that is even making the issue more even worse. When a few of the leaders of the protesters went to the station yesterday in Apo to have them released, they left Apo. They were told the protesters were at FA Police Command. They were there, and they requested that those people arrested should be released. The first spokesperson came, actually called the PRO of FCD Police Command and asked them to come and meet him at the first headquarters. Arriving in the first headquarters, they were trying his number, sending him messages. If he's speaking his calls, so I begin to think: is that an orchestration to get those people, to keep them more than the time that is demand that they should be kept? If they slept in cell yesterday, they've even trampled on the fundamental human rights. To state the fact, they talk about having them released in less than 24 hours, which is not happening, which has not happened. I don't know if before I come to the studio they've released them, but I'm certain with the civil society getting involved and having and pursuing that path, they will regain their freedom before the end of the day.
Thank you very much for that. So we saw youths come out in their numbers, regardless of whatever tribe, regardless of religion. We saw people coming out to protest for the release of someone from a particular part of this country. Now, with the display of this, would you say we are gradually going towards, or we are gradually, heading towards unity? We often say there is still tribalism in this part of the world, but with this display, with this show that happened yesterday, do you think we can actually, we are there? We can say we are headed towards, a place where ethnic identity doesn't really play role on how Nigerians perceive us, on how we perceive ourselves, and how we perceive collectively taking the nation forward.
The issue of ethnicity guiding our institutional reasoning about, more especially in the judiciary, is now being taken more seriously, because going by the incident of yesterday and the agitation to get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released from detention, it came about the pardon that the president gave to some few convicts the past a few weeks back, and people have thought if these people have committed capital offences and they can be released by pardon. There was a court order having hearing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Until this moment, has not been released. The last sense, so voices now, press of reasoning came on board and said, no, you can't be treating this particular set of people differently, or taking this particular issue differently. What is good for the good is good for the gander. And that's why the Nnamdi Kanu protest and agitation for his release is getting more voices. If people are in the far north, they call themselves bandits, are going around coming to negotiate with guns and guns, bombs and weapons and machetes, negotiating our leaders, and our leaders are listening to their voices. Why won't you go in the line of applying the same political settlements, or going away of politically settling this on the issue, not the issue, knowing the fact that is a leader that has emerged from a particular zone. If not treated in that like, the people will now sense in the line that the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is being treated this way because it's not from this particular part or particular region of the country. So I will urge the government, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to please, in the spirit of justice and equity, approach the Nnamdi Kanu detention with immediate political solution, so that at least we can have peace from that particular region of the country, and it will not be seen as if we are taking side with the bandits while Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. And it's not like I'm supporting what Nnamdi Kanu has done in the past, but having gone this far, and if it's agitation too, can be book to book. What Nnamdi Kanu is actually agitating for is not even sovereignty. To me, it's not secession. It's inclusiveness. The Southeasterners, the Igbos, have been negated for too long, and said we cannot continue to be like this. Economically, we are contributing more to the GDP of this country. Why want to give us an equal political right to participate? Given the opportunity, whatever the demands of the agitation coming from the Southeast is, will be met. And this issue of they are going about agitating for a state, or agitating for non-inclusive in the government, will go to an end. I prefer we handle it with a political solution than having him arrested and undergoing persecution.
Okay. How can Nigeria achieve? But before we go to that, some people argue that the reason why maybe the government clamoring for say amnesty or absorbing bandits back into society is because why they have not taken steps to say absorb or release Nnamdi Kanu is basically because they have not seen remorse. Do you agree with that? And then if you compare it to others that have been pardoned or given, the bandits that that has been said to that they want to be absorbed back to the society, have we seen remorse from them too, if we judge fairly?
No, the Nnamdi Kanu's case is that he has come live and make some emphatic statements that affected his own people directly.
Okay.
So the issue of not being remorseful from the unity of the country is not true. We sympathize with his situation, but his own people are feeling the pain the more. That's why voices from even the same Southeast are saying that it should not be released. That if released, it may do worse, or even the chaos too in the Southeast too may increase. But that is not true. The truth is that if the president has the power to grant pardons and have some issues settled politically, I want to use the same apparatus to manage the situation in the Southeast. It's not far from calling a referendum of the leaders of the Southeast and sit down and get them to approach the Nnamdi Kanu himself and seek a way forward. These things are achievable. In conventional, in senior countries, these things have done. These things have gone past. Things that have been worse than this. Have gone through peace process and they're able to attain peace and progress in their country. So I say it happen. Not having that happen now, I know it's intentional.
Intentional from their own end.
From that, yes, it's intentional because some people are benefiting.
So they don't want to call for peace or know his stance. Whether he's remorse or not. They have not taken steps to whether to actually analyze all of the situations with Nnamdi Kanu himself. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's
to know his stance, to know where he is at this point. If he is going to continue in that path he started, or if he's taking a bow, or is having a U-turn. Are you saying that our leaders have not made efforts to know where Nnamdi Kanu stands at this point?
No, Nnamdi Kanu have taken his stand before. There was a time he was brought to court, and he actually did a press conference and ordered that the killing should end, and that he was not the one in charge that gave the statement that there shouldn't be businesses on Mondays in the Southeast. He has condemned that in totality. And drawing from his words, I know that he was genuinely saying that from the depth of his heart, and he actually wants peace in that region. So most people that are benefiting, the people from the Southeast region benefiting from this Nnamdi Kanu arrest, are doing that to achieve some cheap political gains. Either in terms of galvanizing the electorate for votes, or encouraging their votes not to count more because of the fears they've deployed and they've triggered in the region. So that is more reason. That is the reason why the Nnamdi Kanu issue is taking the dimension it's taking now. But Nigerians are sympathizing with Nnamdi Kanu. Like why we are remorseful and we are in support of the government going in the line of political solution and have this issue settled. Nnamdi Kanu has come out publicly to say that he wants peace to reign in the region and has condemned whatever instruction that the commanders even though they claim that they were his commanders were bullied out from the region while he was under detention. So I see Nnamdi Kanu being genuinely and remorseful about gaining peace in the southeast.
What can the government do differently to ensure justice is seen and felt across, in your opinion? Because a lot of Nigerians are not happy. And there's a saying that you cannot please all. You cannot please everyone. You know, you have to stick to a particular standard or a particular style. It might not benefit everyone, but somehow it does the job. That's what some people believe. So, at where we are right now as a country, and with the displeasure that some people have come out to express, how do you think the government can look into it to make sure that it attends to the people, but then it focuses on what it should do?
I want to thank the President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for what he's doing in the area of reviving back the economy. But good governance is not just tied to improving the economy. If there is no justice in the land, there is no way good governance will thrive. There is no way even the economy of the country will thrive. So until when we sense that there is equity and justice, that is when his effort in trying to revive the economy too will be seen as being germane to our current economic situation. So good governance, in all sense, is not just just infrastructure and people in the economy. The well-being of the people, the welfare of the state, and justice for the people is also good governance, taken down seriously. So I want to urge this effort, and I wanted to do more in the part of the judiciary. It should put the people first and make sure that justice is served when and how to a particular in a particular situation. But if he sense that there is partiality or in honoring court orders, people will see his effort his effort of cohesion and trying to bring the country together as being a charade. So I want to urge him more to approach to make sure there is justice and equity for the citizenry, because if any society where there is no justice and equity, any effort you're putting in governance will not be seen, or will be seen as a one-sided effort towards a particular tribe or race. So is doing well in that aspect. I want to improve more on equity and justice for all the region, because if you can grant pardon, or if you're taking a granted pardon to bandits, why not grant the same pardon to Nnamdi Kanu from the southeast? Because if they said that yesterday, if the people wants to come out legitimately and protest for a situation that I felt is not championing the cause of unity, and you end up dispersing them with tear gas and guns, instead of you taking those guns and tear gas to the bush or the forest against the bandits,
yes.
then you resonate on people, on protesters. They're going to think that then if people now resort to going to the bush and using arms to cause chaos, how will the security situation be or be worse? So I'm urging them, they should end this whole situation, this whole issue, this whole strategy of using guns
on protesters,
because it won't go well in the long run. The people are grieved already. The hardship in the country is telling on the people, and there's hunger in the land. So don't cause them to do far more than what is happening now. It's their right to protest. Avail the security agency and improve on how improve in information gathering, and find a way to manage this to manage the crowd. They can't stop it. the same forces they are using to cause chaos or to disperse the persons, those same people are going to the same markets, that shouldn't attend the same schools, and they are feeling the same pain too we are feeling. So I urge the president to please, in all honesty, address the issue of in the justice system. Let me not be seen as if the justice system is partial to some particular elements and not treating some particular issues too with some lapses, which is not reflecting the cohesion and our progressiveness in national unity.
Okay, the conversation for good governance, justice, and of course, amplification of the youth voices will be back just after this break. Please stay with us. Youth voices, justice, and the quest for good governance. That's the conversation we're currently on. And we're in the studio with Mr. Robert Arch Ubede. He is the youth leader of AMAC on the APC. And I can say that he's doing justice to the conversation because it has been an insightful one here. Right. So, talking about good governance, sir, a lot of people say protesting is a waste of time because it's something that has been done over and over and over again, and we've not really seen it yield any positive result. And I, for one, I think there's some kind of protest that shouldn't be done shouldn't be directed towards the presidency. There are protests that, for example, you're protesting for hardship. You should march to your local government chairman's office. You should march to the local government secretariat, respectively. Every citizen, every individual, go to the secretariat, to your own local government, and go and go and lend your voices, or go and cry, go and make your petitions, whatever you want to call it, because it's not far-fetched. The leadership chain is from up to down, and there is someone that is directly responsible to your amenities, to your infrastructure, to that hardship that you're talking about. It's a chain. And what is your opinion? Because you have seen protests happen over and over again in this country, and somehow, to no avail, doesn't really yield so much results. So what do you say about that?
For we in FCT, we are very privileged to have a democratically elected chairman in place. and from all indication, they are doing well in trying to empower the youth.
So you saying in other parts of the country, they are not democratically elected?
That is where I'm going.
Okay.
I've seen that they are doing well in trying to empower the youth the more and encourage youth inclusiveness in governance. We are all a product of a local government, a ward to a local government. What is happening in other states is that the president, in his wisdom, has tried to implement the local government autonomy bill. But the governors seems not to be implementing that. But for FCT, I think FCT is the only state, maybe few other states that are getting, no states. FCT is the only state, for a fact, they are getting their FAC directly from the federal government.
But we still experience hardship. Or there is hardship.
The hardship in FCT is due to rural-urban migration, because most people have not seen the FCT as a working capital, and more people are trooping in from all the states because there is no government.
Can you explain the rural-urban migration as being part of the reason or the reason for hardship?
Yes. What the FCT gets, in fact, is not compared to what some states get, in fact. When it comes to implementation, the governors have refused to let the chairman of the local government be in implementing the local government autonomy bill to the letter. So most people now find their way from the state down, the state being a rural area, that is the local government in the state being a rural area, down to FCT being the urban area. That is the rural urban migration that's happening now. That is making our infrastructure in FCT here overused and giving it pressure. And that is why people find it even a bit easier and more convenient to come to the city capital and protest, because the government is working here because of the implementation of the local government autonomy to reflect in FCT. And that is what we are praying to for other states. If what we are seeing FCTs are praying in other states, I think the agitation among the youth will be reduced to the barest minimum. It won't be as what it is right now. Because the anger that is in the land is the fact that the governors in the states have hijacked the funds that is meant for the local government.
That's what you're talking about, other states. Now let's be even specific with the Federal Capital Territory, which is the FCT. You say that the reason why other states are complaining of hardship is because they don't have the autonomy, the local government autonomy, right? But in FCT, you say it is a bit fair, right? But what I'm saying is citizens, indigents, still complain of hardship. Why is that? With how fair you say the system is in distributing, the FAC and all of that, why do we still complain of these things?
It's not from what you just said. It's not, you're not far from the truth.
Okay.
Citizens are complaining, even in the most wealthy nations.
Okay.
Even in the most wealthy nations that we know in this world. But then there are still middle class or poorest of the poor to complain and beggars on their street.
Yes.
So you cannot eradicate it fully at a particular time. That's why I said we in the FCT, our elective chairman in the FCT are trying more to empower the people and increase their daily earnings and see the way they can be included.
Which of the people are you talking about?
Yes, generality, the resident of Abuja.
So how are they being empowered?
They're being empowered. Before coming to the studio, I just came from an empowerment program being anchored by the vice chairman incoming to the local government chairman. and there were minerals of condiments and palliative given there, and we can see the numbers that were given. Genuinely, people that need that avail themselves that they need this palliatives.
How is this information being passed to the public of these empowerment programs? Because it looks as if it's just a few that are privileged to, this benevolence from leaders, government leaders. I'm of opinion that people should get involved in politics. Is your involvement in politics either time your effort to get to vote or to be voted for? So we're saying right now
that will bring you into some database or to some information that of things happening within the community.
So those that are not into politics are not privileged to this information, as what we're saying.
No, I didn't say there's nobody in the politics. It's either they refuse to get involved or lack of previous experience is restraining them from not getting involved now. That's why I'm always telling them that wherever you see a political event happening in your ward or your community, get involved. Even starting from your family meeting, you can get empowered from family meeting. I've seen a situation where we want empowerment for the people. We request the clans or the chiefs, the traditional head of the community to forward people's name. How do they do that? They get it from families and clans.
From families and
so
clans.
Either you are a politician or not involved politically or you don't have a voter's card, those things affect you. I will see all those things trickle down to our grassroots, and they are all informed and all getting what is deserved. The government is trying their efforts in trying to collate the database of the population, and I'm encouraged that we still
do we have a database in this country?
No, I'm saying we're encouraging that because the former president of the Boy tried to have a census. It's only with a better population census that you can manage the influx of the population, which is not we are not seeing.
We've not had the population census since 2000 and.
Over a decade now.
More than a decade.
Over a decade now.
More than a decade. I think the last was 2004, right?
Yes,
2004 was the last census.
2003, 2004.
2003, 2004. So since then we've not had. So when we talk of database, I don't even know if we have a database in this country. But at the end of the day, if you compare ourselves to other climes of the world, not everybody does politics, but good governance. I understand that Nigeria we're democratically evolving, right? We're getting there. Gradually, we're going to get there. And in the time being, everybody has to be part of the process. It has to be a transparent process. It has to be a process that every single person can contribute their quota, their growth, whatever it is, to make it work, right? But in a normal society, not everyone does politics. Everybody has what they are called to do. There are some people that are drawn towards politics. There are some, that is basically they are called to be pastors. There are others that are called to be teachers. Everybody has where they are called to function in society. But maybe we are saying that because Nigeria is still evolving democratically, even if we have been a democratic nation since 1999, we are still. It looks like we're still crawling. We're still trying to get there politically, democratically, and thereby. What you were saying is that what I can conclude from what you were saying is that before we get there, it is a process that everyone has to be part of. You cannot be asking what is happening in that sector. You have to know by yourself so that you would know how to channel yourself or position yourself. You get to be part of that change that would actually benefit you, because it is like we're like a nuclear family that's just trying to grow. We're trying to give birth to children. We're trying to build a name for ourselves. But realistically, that is where we are at in Nigeria. So I would say, by what you have said, it is time for everyone, whether you're called into politics or not, we have to build democracy together. And by doing so, or the only way to build democracy together, to make democracy what it should be, to make it achievable in this part of the world, is for every single person to be part of the politics, so that we can together make a leader emerge, a leader that is after our heart, a leader that, is a spec, to every each and every of our, our personalities. A leader that we can say is a spec to whatever kind of personality you have. But there is someone that we have to come together and say, this is that person. And by doing so, like you are saying, we all have to be part of politics.
There is, let me just add to, let me appreciate more on what you just said. You don't say there's no, that some people want to be teachers, some want to be pastors. No. There is, even in Cannes, as of today, there's politics in Cannes. Even in our immediate churches, there are politics in immediate churches.
Okay.
In schools, there are teachers' union. That is politics.
Okay.
In the market, there are market union. That is politics.
Okay.
So we are all connected, interconnected either way in politics. And when we oppose these people, we oppose them like from the saying that every average woman is a political animal. I will not approach you with the sense that you've not heard of INEC before, you've not heard of voter's card before, you've not heard of NIN before, you've not heard of APC, or you've not heard of PDP. However, either way, these political parties or these bodies I've mentioned has affected you one way or the other. If you don't vote, they will just that they've had elections and they've declared public holiday, or they've declared no movement. It affects you. Even why not even involve in the politics? You see some road construction going down in your areas, and they are and it affects the traffics because of the one traffic, because of the traffic going on there. And even while you are not involved, it affects your movement. That means you are involved in politics indirectly. Understand? So what we are urging them is that there is there's a reawakening among the youth now and young women now, that if I'm not being carried along, and they have now decided that their ballots can actually make the change. So when people are agitating for revolution, I'm not part of those kind of agitation. Or when agitating for something that is legitimate, I'm not aware of it. How to do that is to get the government, to hold the government, and try and hold the government accountable, and make sure that our votes count. With our ballot, we can make a difference. And that way, I'm saying that everybody out there should be able to participate in the politics, because the quest for good governance is beyond just having good roads. You need justice. Yes. It's beyond just having better schools. You need equity.
Yes.
The schools are there. Can you attend these schools? Are they affordable? How do you agitate your interest now? It's by getting involved. So this quest for good governance is a question that has been thrown out there, and the people now are reawakening. If I'm going to the market and I'm buying the titles, I used to buy a kilo for 1,006 now for over 6,000 naira. Now I should be worried. I said, what is the difference? What is causing this hardship? What is causing this difference? It's not the president in his seat in the villa that is not controlling the prices of goods in the market. There are shades of middlemen or businesses that have, or businessmen that make it come true. And that's why the efforts of this present economic team of Mr. President need to be commended. Because if you get to the market now, the prices of food and services are now trickling down.
That's what
the bag of rice I bought.
Actually, right.
I bought over 2 months ago for 85,000 naira. As at last weekend, a friend of mine was buying one, and I called to confirm the information. And that land, the bag of rice now goes for 55,000 and 60,000 respectively. Likewise to maize, sorghum, yam, Irish potatoes and everything, and tomatoes and pepper. The prices are going down.
I think
so let's commend the effort of the president. At least the GDP of our country has increased to a certain level, and we cannot take that from his efforts to make life meaningful and to get succor to the people.
and to the population that needs more, which is the middle class and the poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
And it's doing well in that light. I love the country to commend the people to commend his efforts,
Yeah.
so that it can do more in that light.
Yeah.
Because if what is happening in the food and service sector is happening in the petroleum sector too, I think the prices of things will trickle down to the barest minimum, and this is what we anticipated and we are expecting, and we will see it happening even in our time. It's not possible. It's possible. Nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
If all hands on deck. That's why we are urging the people to keep their ears on ground and be more awakened, to make sure that they get involved, hold the government responsible, and not be docile in their voices.
Okay.
Let's start it started from your immediate environment, and you see results. Like I'm saying, the empowerment trickling down all the structure of the society. If you avail yourself, you get involved. And
that's where the justice starts from.
No,
availing yourself.
No, justice starts from availing yourself. Avail yourself justice. Because justice.
Because if you're not part of the system and you say at the end of the day you're not given leadership positions, you have not availed yourself in the first place. So there's no how you'll be part. You'll be considered for some privileges when you have not been there. So that is why I said it starts from, first of all, availing yourself, contributing, and then when you have done all that you need to do and it doesn't still get to you, you're not part of the decision-making processes, then you can start to, I don't want to say protest, but
no, there won't be room for protest anymore.
Yeah.
Even though the people are angry and agitated. I know the government is trying its best to call the parties to table and have the issue, just like the incident of yesterday addressed.
Have they been called to the table?
No, they are working towards that.
They are working towards that.
Okay. No, there are voices of reasoning that are speaking in that line.
Okay.
And I know that they'll use that. They'll drive in that direction for us to attain a peace in the country, because a country that is peaceful that is the only country that can prosper.
Yeah.
But if there's no peace, there's no progress.
All right, so I think we'll draw the curtains here. Thank you so much for your insights. One thing is key: you have to be for justice to prevail. You have to be part of the good governance, right? Contribute your own quota. Go and belong to political parties, according to our comrade here. Thank you, sir, for being on the show with us. This is where we draw the curtains. Viewers, please, peace is what we preach. Without peace, we cannot prosper, like Mr. Ubede has said here. So let us leave on this note. Clamor for peace, right? Yes. Until we come your way again, I still remain your host, Priscilla Obasi. Bye for now.
Thank you.